I've got French beer versus an American beer. Kronenbourg, 1664, rated at 74 on Beer Advocate, has 5.5% ABV. Brewed in France. Miller High Life, rated at 64 on Beer Advocate, and 4.6 ABV. So, right off the bat, it seems that Miller High Life has nothing going for it. It's rated 10 points lower and almost 10% or almost 10 hundredths of a percent lower in alcohol. So, or 10 tenths of a percent. So almost 1% lower. 5.5 versus 4.6, so 0.9. Now, I decided to put these two up against each other because Kronenbourg went up against Estrella Galicia and lost because this had some bitterness to it that just wasn't that great compared to the Estrella. Estrella was sweet. And Miller went up against Pabst and won because it was more bitter than Pabst. Pabst was very sweet. So, since the last two contests involved sweet versus more bitter beers, I decided to put these two up against them because of the last two contests. These are the most, these are the bitter ones. So, or not the last two, but the previous two. So the sweet beers, Estrella Galicia went up against Pabst, and Estrella won. And now the bitter beers are going up against each other. And both of these were, well, this one was a winner, but this one was a loser. Now, wheat beer glasses. I wanted to use glasses appropriate for lagers. Wheat beer glasses can be used for lagers, but since these are a half liter and a pint, I needed glasses that would hold it all so I could pour the whole thing in there. Now, looking at these two beers side by side, they look virtually identical. The same amount of bubbles come up, both maintain a bit of a head here, foam. Let's see if there's any aroma to either one of them. Slight aroma, very slight. Hardly anything at all. Miller, as I said in the last time that I reviewed Miller, has been called by some the corn-flavored soda. Well, anyway, let's get down to it. This can be done blindfold since they both have foam. I'm not going to be able to pick up which one is which because I'll feel the foam from both of them on my lip as I take a drink. And hell, I might as well even open my eyes because I don't know which one is which. Well, maybe I do. I think this was the Kronenbourg. It had a different foam pattern, but I could be wrong. So, no smell, quite possibly the Miller Lite. Kind of sweet, not much bitterness. Easy drinking. It probably is the Miller Lite. All right, not the Miller Lite. What am I thinking? Miller High Life. I don't drink light beer. More bitter. Significantly more bitter. Yeah, this probably is the Kronenbourg. Although in the past, I don't remember Kronenbourg being that bitter. But I'm not sure I compared it to American adjunct lagers, which are very sweet and lacking in hop bitterness. Now, which one of these tastes like corn soda? Probably this one. A much stronger and a much harsher and more bitter beer than this, significantly. The the difference in taste between the two is unmistakable. I've done a number of beers where they were so close in taste and everything that it was difficult to choose one over the other. It was like a coin toss almost. But with this one, there is clearly a difference between these two. This one is sweet, easy drinking, smooth. And this one is bitter and more flavorful. Well, I like it. And now, chasing this beer with this makes this taste like water. So it probably is the Miller Lite or Miller High Life. What do I keep saying Miller Lite for? I guess because Miller Lite is so ubiquitous. They don't, I hardly see any advertisements for Miller High Life, but Miller Lite, at least when I used to watch TV, there were Miller Lite advertisements all over the place. You couldn't sling a dead cat without hitting a Miller Lite advertisement. This one makes this taste terrible, or just plain like Pabst. Pabst was a boring beer, which I call it. And next to this is boring. I'm going to chase the other way now. Try this one, which I believe is the Miller High Life. It's interesting how they both maintain the foam. Look at that. I don't see that too often in beers. So I try to pour them and minimize the foam. Minimize stirring it up. Because I want my beer to be as crisp and as carbonated as it can be right out of the can or the bottle. See, now going in, when you have a clean palate, it's good. It's sweet. It's got a decent flavor. But when you're putting it right up against something that's different, then it's not so great. Especially if it's something that's got more flavor. Stronger. I'm going to go with this one, I think. It'd be funny if this is the Miller Lite. But nope. This is the Kronenbourg. With Alsatian, Alsacian, Alsatian hops. I guess those hops are from France. I don't know. I have no idea. But as I said in my last video involving Pabst and Estrella Galicia, I mentioned the phrase making love on a boat, which is I'm gonna get them for fucking close to water. Something that some Europeans, like to say about American beer. And in both cases, they're right. Pabst versus Estrella Galicia. Pabst was watery, weak. It was plain. It was boring. It was low on flavor compared to Estrella Galicia. And it's the same thing with Miller High Life, and Kronenbourg. Kronenbourg is more flavorful. It has some bitterness to it, but next to it, but Miller High Life next to it is boring. It's lacking flavor. It's weak, and it's a bit watery in comparison. Miller High Life is stronger and more bitter than Pabst. And when I compared Miller High Life to Pabst side by side, I picked Miller High Life. But yeah, I'll take the Kronenbourg. Kronenbourg is I'll take the bitterness of the Kronenbourg over this because it's just makes the Miller High Life taste weak and watery in comparison. Now, if I was to grab, if I was to grab a beer and I haven't drank any beer, and just decide to have the beer and pull one out of the fridge, yeah, I wouldn't mind drinking this because it's smooth and it's got a nice flavor. And I'm not going to realize how weak it is and how watery it is because I'm not drinking it next to another beer. But man, when you drink it next to another beer, then you can really tell. You can really tell how much better or the difference between the two. Now, if you like weak beer, if you like watery beer, if you like beer without flavor, then yeah, you can go for Miller High Life. But if you want some bitterness, you want some flavor, then I'll take this one, and that's what I'm taking. So, thanks for watching. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.